What's up, guys and gals? It's your boy Jeff coming to you with an extreme comic table with Rando here. Rando is actually with me today. So,
Hey, how's it
yeah.
going, everyone?
So, we're going to be talking about probably the Wonder Woman trailer and probably Black Widow. Couple of things, couple of little things where they're going to talk about. So, Rando, what did you think of the Black Widow trailer with why can't I think of the actor's name? From Stranger Things, the sheriff.
Oh, David Harbour.
Yeah, what you think of David Harbour being the Russian version of Captain America?
Oh yeah, Red Guardian.
Yeah, Red Guardian. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, I think he's great, man. I think he's gonna steal the movie.
Yeah,
Like there's something charismatic about him. The way that they're handling him and his character. I'm very intrigued by it. I'm very excited for it.
but
It's probably gonna be my favorite thing about the movie.
yeah, but that's gonna be a meme out where you remember at the end of Stranger Things where they say, "Oh, it's that American in the in the cell." There's gonna be a
Oh
scene
yeah,
of that.
there's already like memes
Yeah.
or gifs about him surviving at Stranger Things
Yeah, and then him being in the Black Widow movie and all this other stuff. So
yeah. No, it's great, man. It's good that Black Widow is finally getting her movie. It's just sad that it's after Endgame, so we already know what happens to her character.
yeah, and it took forever for her to get the movie in the first place.
It did. I think what was it? They didn't even start considering Black Widow getting a movie until Wonder Woman came out.
Until Wonder Woman shot up and broke box office.
They were so focused on getting Captain Marvel out because they felt like Captain Marvel was going to be
right.
The premier Marvel female superhero, Captain Marvel, and so what's funny is like that movie went on to make $1 billion, and there's still like people that kind of complain about Brie Larson. I don't really have a problem with Brie Larson, like I understand people's complaints, I get it.
Right. But you don't let stuff bother you anyways. You don't let things bother you anyways, man.
There's literally like only a few things that bother me, and I think you know what they are.
Yeah. You let stuff roll off your back anyway, so it's like,
Yeah, I mean, I used to be a very, very hardcore comic book fan. Like it had to be exactly like the comic book. If it wasn't exactly like the comic book,
I remember.
Yeah, like the very first Spider-Man film came out, and I loved I mean, I know people will bash on it because of Tobey Maguire and all the Tobey Maguire crying scenes, but to me, like those Spider-Man films are still the best Spider-Man films. And I just remember watching the first movie when it came out. I was just like, this movie is almost perfect. Almost. The only thing that's messed up in the movie is that he doesn't have web shooters. Like they made webbing organic, and which is funny because like people complained about it, but then like when people interviewed Stan Lee about it, Stan Lee was like, "Oh, it's a great idea. I wish I would have thought of it." Yeah. But let's see who we got here. Joe 4771.
We call him Joe Baggis. And then Just the Rican and his podcast.
Yes, Just the Rican and his comics. Awesome. Yeah.
And then we got a special guest, William. Hey, William.
Hey, there he is.
How you doing, William?
I'm good. I wasn't expecting this. I just came home from work, actually. So
yeah, I know.
Not smell me because I just came from a kitchen.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Man. I'm glad you can make it.
Yeah, at least it's not smell-o-vision show.
Honestly, didn't know if I could make it. I don't have a computer. This is on my phone, and I didn't even know if it was capable of doing this.
Yeah, it is. That's why when you said you only had your phone, I said, yeah, it's we're all good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, I want people to get to know other comic collectors that are not YouTubers, but I don't even care. You guys aren't YouTubers. You guys are friends of mine, anyways. I want people to get to know everybody, So that's the main reason I do this. So
absolutely, yeah. I try to watch. This is about the same time I get done with work every Sunday, so I try to catch what I can. Sometimes I usually miss half of it. So
yeah, but if you ever want to jump in, like I said, if you ever want to jump in, I'll keep on sending you invites, and you can always jump in all you want, So that's all, whatever you want to. Yeah, have you seen the Black Widow trailer or the Wonder Woman trailer yet?
Not the Wonder Woman trailer. I did see the Black Widow one.
What you think?
I was never one that was huge into. I can see my cat behind me.
Yeah, you're good.
I was never one into really cheering for a Black Widow movie. But that said, I thought it looked pretty good. It's we've seen a lot of movies like this with like Salt and like hell, Scarlett Johansson herself has been in 2 or 3 movies where she's like warrior badass. And
I mean, you even had like what was it? Jennifer Lawrence did a spy movie called Red Sparrow, which is very similar to Black Widow.
That's what we thought. Everybody thought that was Black Widow, that Black Widow movie, because if they didn't say it was it.
Exactly. So it's like, what can you do with this movie that you can't do that would make it like a comic book movie, you know?
Oh, but, I mean, the Red Guardian, putting him in there, and then Taskmaster being a villain.
Yep. And like I said, when I actually watched the trailer, I was like, all right, you got me on board. I'll watch it. So, me and Randall don't have the same agreement on DC movies, but I'm definitely going to see this over Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
And I say that as a huge Birds of Prey fan. I bought the first issue of Birds of Prey when Chuck Dixon put it out.
What have you been reading, William? What have you been reading? You reading anything? Like anything modern?
I just finished getting caught up on Saga.
Okay.
I was about 20 issues behind, and so I just started rereading it from the beginning, and so I read all 54 issues. I'm sad that they haven't announced when it returns yet.
Sometime in the new year. I know that much.
Yeah,
but Brian K. Vaughan's like, look, the book will come back when I feel like it comes back.
I'll be honest though, now that I've read it and caught up, I'm for giving him as much time as he needs, because I do think it was starting to like repeat itself towards the end.
Yeah.
If he can refresh, think up some good ideas, make it back what it used to be. Not that it was ever, it's still better than most comics on the stands, but you could tell he needed some time to rejuvenate.
I mean, I think story-wise, if you want to make it fresh, you always have to keep introducing new characters, and then if you want to like shake things up, you got to kill off 1 or 2 characters that people actually like.
Not all the time, man. You introduce a new character, and then like William or somebody that wants to collect it to read it is gonna have to pay an extra $45, $45 just to pick up the issue 54. Let's just. I
mean, like you were saying, like you don't want it to be repetitive. You don't want like similar story arcs happening over again. With the same
I understand that part too. Okay.
I didn't see it. I didn't notice it as much when I was reading it monthly. When you read it all together, it's like they go here, run into the same couple people, go to this planet, run into the same few people, go to this planet, run into the same few people, and it's like, okay. And it's kind of good that they did get rid of some characters at the end, because even when you're reading it, the narration says these are people that I met early on. There'll be other people later, and now it's later. It's like, you're still dealing with the same people. There's like a lot of people who chased me throughout my life. We're still dealing with the first people. So it is a little bit of a time to move on, I think. But I have a lot of faith when it comes back. It's going to be really good.
That's cool.
Animation. How are we doing today?
Not bad.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, it's Mylar Madness with Comic Tim. I'm just here to say hello real quick. I just got out of my job doing the elf gig, so
William just got out of his job too, so you're all right. So
hey, William, how you doing, brother?
Good. I was at Nerd Out last Monday. You weren't there. I wanted to meet you, but I guess Mondays is your day off.
Yeah, I'm all over the place right now. Between 4 different jobs, I'm just jumping like a leapfrog from one to the other. But
I was actually looking at I was looking at some of the videos of your boat job.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple YouTube videos of just seeing what it's about, seeing if it's something I would like to check out.
And he's an undercover pirate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
guess
then
they
right now they've got me. They got me dressed like an elf.
Mm.
He's
So
he's rocking the Wesley look before he became the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yeah. The name of my elf character is Bucky, not Buddy. Buddy's my older brother, and we all know the film that Buddy comes from. Everybody knows that film.
Oh yeah,
It's called Die Hard.
yeah. I was actually joking with somebody earlier, and I was like, you know what? That sounds like it gave me this idea of like I'd like to see Bruce Willis play as Santa Claus, going after only the naughty children.
That's
and then the name of the movie would be called Christmas Card.
I'm on board. I love Bruce. Bruce is a phenomenal actor when he shows up. Sometimes he's just not there. Sometimes he's like
phoning it in, just walking through the steps.
I'm just collecting a paycheck.
Last couple movies.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to it.
Have you seen the Black Widow trailer, Tim?
I have seen the Black Widow trailer. Is that what you guys were discussing?
Yeah, just now. Yeah. What you think?
I liked it. I thought it was very attractive.
Mm-hmm.
It feels a little dated, though. This should have came out years ago.
Right. Oh, absolutely. I mean, the movie is supposed to take place before Infinity War.
Yeah.
Before Infinity War. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
I can tell you this.
I can't remember if it's before Civil War or after Civil War, but it's definitely after Infinity War.
It feels much better than Captain Marvel.
Only because she actually has a supporting cast. You know.
Well,
when you
it's
see
just
like
better than Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel, there was an air about it that I didn't like.
Has already been established in like 10 films. You know, so it's like we already know who she is versus being introduced to Captain Marvel the first time in her own movie. You know.
Yeah. But
I still have the problem between Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel. They missed something there for me. There was a other person called Captain Marvel, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
But,
all right, what you got?
I prefer Rick Jones to Captain Marvel.
Speaking of Captain Marvel, you want to see an exclusive?
What? Yeah.
So I picked these up on the internet. This is from Frankie's Comics in, I believe, South Carolina. Yeah. I picked up two nice exclusive variants. This is a #1. This is Stephanie Hahn's Captain Marvel variant.
Nice.
It is a beautiful, wispy, very attractive Captain Marvel cover in her Miss Marvel outfit.
Yeah.
Loved it. They were very inexpensive. As a matter of fact, I believe both these books were $14.99 plus shipping, and I think shipping was like $6, so it was very affordable.
Yeah.
But a very nice Captain Marvel cover. And
now,
then, of course,
is that like Captain Marvel Volume 14? I think.
I think this is the latest one. This is the newest one that just hit shelves because this is a brand new variant.
Yeah,
so I think it's like 14. Yeah.
I mean, I always shoot like really high numbers, like like the Punisher is probably like on Volume 27.
Yeah.
Captain America is on probably Volume 19 or something like that.
And then if you want to see another one of my assets, this is a beautiful book as well. This is a X-Men #1, and this is a beautiful cover.
Ashley something, right? It's by Ash. The artist is Ashley something, right? Something like that.
Ashley
No, this is Ji Hyung.
Oh, okay, so it's a guy. I was wrong.
As far as I can tell, yeah.
Yeah.
From this perspective, it would seem as if it was a male artist who definitely drew this comic book. Yeah.
She should. You know what? There should be a variant cover of that cover, and she should be wearing like one of those like workout pants where it's got the word on the backside.
Yeah.
So it should say like X on one butt cheek and then 23 on the other cheek, right?
That would be funny. Yeah. That would be funny.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So the The Black Widow trailer. I'm not a huge David Harbour fan. I do like him in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I did not like him as Hellboy.
Okay.
No, hold on. Let me change that. He's a good actor.
Yeah.
He's
paid his dues.
Yeah, his portrayal of Hellboy was not the choice I would have made, but as an actor myself, I totally understand some of the choices he made. He tried to bring a new air to it, a little bit. It was really and truly, you know what really got me off is the music on Hellboy. I didn't like it. The music kept throwing.
I still haven't seen. I still haven't
me out of
seen
the. What's that?
I still haven't seen it, but thanks to me and William hanging out the other day, we went to stop at Best Buy, and they had it on sale for like $8.
Mm-hmm.
So I went ahead and bought that. So I haven't had the chance to watch it yet. So hopefully this upcoming week. It's tough for me to watch movies sometimes because movies are 2 hours. And sometimes when I'm watching television, I don't know if I have 2 hours to commit.
Well, yeah, you do. You can do your comic thing and watch movies at the same time.
No, when I watch a movie, I like to give all my attention to the movie. And
Same here.
This age, it's very tough to do that when you have a smartphone, because you're always checking to see notifications, So I'm literally I think that's why I think I still enjoy seeing movies in the movie theater, because I know that when I'm in the movie theater, I need to make sure my phone is shut off. And not to mention I'm paying $10 to see a movie. So I'm going to get my money's worth. I'm going to get the full attention. I'm going to sit there, I'm going to watch the film on the big screen. I won't be interrupted,
So just so I can see who likes the Black Widow trailer and who doesn't, just give me a thumbs up if you liked the Black Widow trailer. Okay, all right, so we're all in the same boat. Okay, good.
Okay, Wonder Woman.
Wait. Also, just to make sure that we all think that General Zod is guilty. Everyone just say guilty one time.
Oh, guilty.
Guilty.
Okay. Well, the other one that I wanted to talk about was the Wonder Woman trailer. Have you seen it yet?
I've seen it.
Oh no,
you've seen it?
I didn't see it. There was a Wonder Woman trailer.
Yeah.
I actually
seen the Wonder Woman trailer.
Teaser of it last night, but not the full trailer.
Okay.
It looks good, man. It looks good. The music. I mean, it's obviously you already know with the title of the film is Wonder Woman 1984, so we know that it's set in the 80s. Tim, I'm sure you remember the 80s.
Oh, absolutely. I graduated high school in 1987. So yeah, I do remember the 80s. The 80s were, that was my era.
Yeah. I think you're going to really appreciate the film. Even I couldn't think of the name of the song, but the song that they kind of use is sort of like the background music. Wait. What's the song where the person's like, how does it feel? Do. You know that song, Tim?
Not the way you sang it.
You.
I don't know the song. I'm not.
I don't really know. I only remember that part of the lyrics.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the synthesizer and do.
Here's the thing about 80s film. We've got Stranger Things happening in the 80s. We've got It happening in the 80s. We had Captain Marvel happening in the 80s.
No, Captain Marvel was 90s.
90s, 80s, and the 90s blend together. They really do. I remember that 70s show.
Are like side by side, exactly the same.
Oh, they all blend. That 70s show. I remember when the 70s show came out and they had that spin-off called the 80s show. And that only lasted 6 episodes because they dropped it like a hot potato.
I remember the marketing for that. And they specifically in one of the trailers was some dude with a giant cellular phone. And he's like, hey man, I'm calling you from the cell phone. I'm not calling you from home. I'm talking to you from a bar or in my car. And he was like so excited for it. Like, can you remember back in those days, like a cell phone like that was like what, $1,000 a month?
If you had a cell phone or a beeper, you were either one of two things. You were either a doctor or a drug dealer.
Or a lawyer.
lawyers charge by the hour, and believe it or not, they like to be in control of their time. I mean, maybe a lawyer, maybe.
Well, I mean, I'd say with a beeper, definitely a lawyer, but a cell phone back then, not so much.
What decade does the Goldbergs take place in?
80s.
I don't watch it.
That was 82, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's an 80s show right now.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah. 80s are a big topic these days, you know? Yeah. It really is.
He has a theory. He has a theory that 2020 and up, we're going to see a huge resurgence of like 80s, you know, like big like 80s, and not just like you know, nostalgia and forms of 80s, but his theory is economically and like the way our society, it's going to like, we might be going through a big boom, very much similar to the 80s. That's his theory.
Yeah.
Well, as far as comics right now, we're going into the 90s and 2000s with 2099 is out this week.
2099.
So we're already going back into the past with comics.
I hope to still be alive when we hit 2099, just to see like Marvel Comics releasing 2099. You know, like the whole theme for that year will be focused on 2099. If there's still,
I'm a little off put by the fact that Marvel's really doing the X-Men right now, and the X-Men are like, we're building this world. This is how the Marvel U is going to be. But they're also doing 2099. It's like, no, this is the future, and it doesn't even reflect anything about the X-Men. It's like the X-Men's game changing right now, and 2099 it's like, well,
that's the funny thing about Marvel. That's the funny thing I think, in my opinion, about Marvel with the editors and with the writers. It always feels like everything X-Men related is always separate from everything else Marvel, you know? And I just wish there was really more of a blend, you know? I wish it was more of a, if they really want to move forward and advance the Marvel universe, they need to get over this whole racism of mutants. You know, it needs to get to the point where everyone's like, hey, we're more accepting of mutants. Oh, you know what they probably should do is maybe in the comics, you know, and I know people don't like to get political, and you know, but like, why not have some mutants, you know, work in government, like they get elected as a mayor or governor or senator, you know? I think that'd be pretty neat, because then now you have more representation of mutants in the Marvel universe, and by there being more representation, there's more interaction with all the other characters interacting with the mutants, and so Marvel would have to like really restructure their editors. They have to restructure how they're setting things up, where it's like, no, we need to know what's going on with the X-Men books, and the people of the X-Men books need to know what's going on with the Avengers and all the other heroes, so that way we can have the periodic like running into each other and you know, teaming up and just, you know, or creating new relationships and friendships.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Back to the Black Widow trailer, David Harbour's playing Red Star, right?
Red Guardian.
Yeah. Red Guardian.
Yeah. Now, the Red Guardian, if I remember correctly, was married to the Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff. They were husband and wife.
But I think
back in the day.
I mean, wasn't at one point Natasha like married to everybody?
I don't know.
Like, you know, wasn't she like married to like Daredevil and married to like? I don't know. So like, and not to mention like she's a spy too. So like those marriages probably aren't even real.
Well, David Harbour, he came across as being more parental. He seemed like he was like the dad of the group.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the brother or something like that.
Yeah,
that's what
I mean, because what's her name? Rachel Weisz. I'm assuming she's going to be like, you know, also a Black Widow type character that maybe helped train Natasha. Like she's like an older Black Widow, so like, you know, she was like a mentor maybe.
Now, who's the female playing her sister, the blonde that actually has a Russian accent?
Correct. Yeah, that one. So here's my theory. My theory is that she will end up becoming the new Black Widow.
Yeah.
Because remember, like I think it was in the 90s or 2000s that they did another Black Widow series, but it wasn't Natasha. It was a different woman who
the blonde.
She had the blonde hair.
Yeah, part of Marvel Knights.
Yeah. So my theory is that she's going to be the new Black Widow, unless of course, you know, I mean, Marvel does what what they, like what any other comic book business does. You take a hero that's died and you bring them back to life. That's kind of like the normal. So we could end up seeing Black Widow being brought back to life. We'll see, because I've heard rumors already that they've already confirmed that they're going to do a sequel, and so if they're going to do a sequel, people are assuming that Scarlett Johansson will be back. So we'll see. Who knows?
Right.
That's a lot more money for her.
I think another thing I read recently was that Kevin Feige is going to be really big on multiverse. So, I mean, technically, you could bring back Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, but it would be an alternate Marvel universe. Black Widow, where it's Scarlett Johansson. They could go that route if they want to. Like, I know that what is it? They got the WandaVision getting ready to come out, and I think there's talks of like Doctor Strange is playing a big pivotal role in the future of the MCU, hence the multiverse. So like that's kind of like I think they're already thinking of like ways of bringing dead characters back. Like how can we bring them back? We can't actually revive them, so we'll have to have like an alternate universe version of them come back. Because I don't think they want to keep toying with time travel because that's just gonna mess up continuity and like. You have those hardcore fans that like do the breakdown of everything that are going to be like, yep, these guys screwed up the Marvel universe. So I think the easiest thing to do is instead of doing more time travel, alternate universe.
So I don't know if you guys went out and about on Black Friday for Thanksgiving and a little shopping. I've told Jeff this. I'm not sure if I've ever mentioned this to Randall and William. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but on Black Friday, Barnes and Nobles has a signed edition sale where they put all of their signed editions out on the shelves. I was a little upset because this year they decided to put it out 2 days before Black Friday.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of the signed editions were missing. However, I did get a couple of cool books that I would like to show off. Because of the big DC new program with the Joe Hill books, I picked this one up. This is a Joe Hill Full Throttle. It's a bunch of short stories, and it's got a very nice signed edition input page right there, Joe Hill. This was cover price. As a matter of fact, not only is it cover price, but I also get my teachers 20% off. So I think I paid like $23 for this book. And I just wanted to show you how much Joe Hill looks like his dad.
Yeah.
So if you guys are fans of those new Joe Hill comics, there were still available copies of Joe Hill's signed first editions on the shelf at the Barnes & Nobles in South Tampa. It's on Del Mabry, just north of Kennedy. I wanted to get a Deborah Harry one from Blondie. I mean, who here from the 80s especially did not appreciate the music of Blondie? And Deborah Harry was one of my early crushes. I got to admit it. And I seen her in concert about, I want to say it's been about 4 or 5 years now here in Tampa, where she actually teamed up with Devo. And not only was Devo phenomenal, but Blondie still had it. And Debbie Harry, man, she was still gorgeous. I could not believe how well she, especially with all of these supposedly, alcoholism, drugs, and stuff like that. She just looked great. I was like, wow, there she is. She's beautiful. But I missed out on that book. There was a Demi Moore book that came out, her memoirs. I missed out on that one too. Yeah. I wish I would have picked that one up. But I found something where, if you notice these signed editions, they put these little stickers on them that say signed copy.
Yeah.
Somebody got smart and they peeled the sticker off. But I went to the back and I saw that there were some copies all the way back in the animated section. And I was able to find, and this is a hard autograph to get. I can't tell you how hard this autograph to get. But I've got a nice Family Guy book. It's Inside Family Guy. It's an illustrated history by Fraser Moore. But this bad boy here is not signed by Fraser Moore. It is signed by
That's awesome.
So I thought that was really, really cool. Somebody peeled the sticker off. They're going to be very disappointed when they come back to find that I took their copy.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that was another one that I really, really wanted to get because Seth is just a difficult signature to obtain. And this book, it goes for $34.99 cover. And with my 20% off, I think I paid just under $30. And you can't even get that kind of autograph at a convention for $30 on a first edition hard copy book. So
nice.
You may want to hit those Barnes and Nobles next to you. There's a lot of signed editions out there, and they keep them on the shelf all the way until Christmas, and then they yank them all off. So I suggest you guys get out there and get to hunting.
Yeah.
Good to know.
I hope that Seth MacFarlane down the road will eventually start doing some conventions because I picked up the Orville comics.
Right.
And that would be definitely something I would love for him to sign. That, and I'm sure I got to find somewhere in my collection, or I'll probably end up buying another copy. But they did come out with some Family Guy comic books, and so that would be something really neat for him.
What did you end up paying for Sam Raimi?
Sam Raimi was, let me think here.
$60, $80?
I want to say 75.
75.
Yeah.
I paid more than he did. Yeah, I paid more than Randall did. I paid like 90 or 80 for James Hahn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but no, you got a. Oh no, wait. Maybe it was more. Maybe it was 100.
Wow, that's a steep price.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. No, maybe it was 70. Maybe it was 70 or 80. I forget. Once I get it, I'm like, it doesn't matter anymore.
Well, since we got William, I know William haven't seen the picture, so you might want to show him the picture if you have it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If you have it.
Yeah.
I got mine. Mine's right next to me, so.
Let's see here.
Oh, you did you got more than just an autograph. You went to the photo op.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And he signed your photo from the photo op? Is that how it works?
No. He just signed the comic book.
Oh, okay. All right.
Nice.
Yep. I got mine.
I have the professional photo, and then I paid an extra $10, so I have the JPEG.
Yeah,
right on.
I did too.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yep.
Well, these aren't signed, but I do at a second.
Yep.
That's awesome. I do at a second Tim's recommendation on Joe Hill. He's actually one of my favorite writers.
Me too.
But this is probably my favorite. I mean, I love his novels, and like these are just what I had in grabbing distance when
right on
about it. But this is the by him.
Yeah.
And I've always been a Stephen King fan. I actually think I like Joe Hill a little bit better. He nails the endings a little bit better than his dad does. There's been a few Stephen King books that by the end I was like, yeah, I don't like the way you.
Yeah, well,
I'll agree with you on that.
He is. His dad's a little more twisted than he is too, kind of. If you read that.
Also, Joe Hill's books are starting to blend into the Stephen King universe.
Oh yeah,
they're giving out little hints and shout outs, bringing up.
I thought it was really smart of DC to work with Joe Hill. So the whole Hill House comics, I think that's great. I think in time, more and more people will, because there's still people out there that have no clue that Joe Hill is Stephen King's son. Like one of my customers, he started picking it up, and then he said he just started reading them, and he was like, "Oh my God, these are like my new favorite books." And so I said, "Are you familiar with Joe Hill?" He's like, "No, I've never heard of him." And so I was just like, "Oh man," I told him, "You got to check out Lock and Key. You got to check out Nosferatu.
Mm-hmm.
You got to check out the Cape.
The Cape, the
Rape, so good."
Yeah, so I told him you got to check those out, man. And then I told him, hey, it's Stephen King's son, So he's like, what? Oh, I didn't know that, And this guy's been collecting comic books for a while too, So for him not to know that, I was like, I was a little surprised, So, but yeah, there are tons of people out there that just. And by the time
if he's watching like Nosferatu, there is actually a mini series called The Race.
Yep,
that ties
I have that too.
Yep. Oh yeah. And
I think it's 8.
what I'm hoping for is HBO Max. They're going to be huge on creating new content for their streaming service. So I wouldn't be surprised if down the road they're going to look at some of the Hill House comics and they're going to say, "Hey, we're going to adapt this into a film, or we're going to adapt it into a TV show for HBO Max." And then
anything he does needs to be a
issues
series.
kind of like
I don't
climb,
think it should be a movie.
you see like the number one issues going up in value and in price and stuff like that.
Right. Like
I
all
did
his,
enjoy Full Heads.
Yeah.
That's his first Hill House comic, and that was pretty good.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Jeff?
I said what he needs, like some of Joe's stuff. I don't think it can be could be a movie. Like a lot of his stuff is drawn out a little, so it might be.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of these Hill House comics are going to be miniseries.
Yeah.
So like you take one miniseries comic and already boom, that could be a movie.
That could be it. But like I'm saying, like his Lock and Key can't be.
Lock and Key. No, it has to be a TV show.
Lock and Key just had a poster for the TV show came out.
Yeah. I remember when they were trying to push that for Fox.
Air Spider's here. Air Spider 23's in and saying hi to Tim.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
Hey,
you should actually see a Lock and Key trailer this week.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Because they said February 27th, right, William? Like something like that. That's supposed to be.
Or the 12th, I think.
February 12th. Like they said, February it's going to be released on Netflix. So I'm excited.
As soon as they posted that, that's when I'm going to start getting Netflix again. Is when that show.
And they put out another one shot last month. The Lock and Key one shot.
I missed the one shot.
Yeah. There's a couple pages that hints that they're going to restart the series over.
Oh, really? I'm pretty sure I picked up 1 or 2 copies of that.
Yeah, I'm missing one. So
yeah.
What they need, I'm thinking me and William are. I don't know if William's thinking this, but what I'm thinking is the kids are going to be adults and their kids are going to be in the house or something like that. Something similar.
I would have guessed that, but if you read the comic, they're still kids. It takes. They're not much older, but they find a key, they turn the key, and the house just pops right back up. And then it's like announcement soon. So we should see
maybe like Joe just like was like, you know what, I'll go ahead and write more stories because you're gonna need more stories if you're gonna do like more seasons of the TV show on Netflix. If it's a TV show on Netflix and like it's definitely popular enough and marketed well enough that Netflix will want to do as many seasons as they can on that show.
My thing is the Mark Millar hasn't came out yet. Like, and none of the Mark Millar verse has came out at all.
Next year, they've been working at it, man. They've been, I remember hearing that they finished halfway through the season of Jupiter's Legacy. And the only reason that they stopped was because the showrunner quit. Like maybe they fired the showrunner. I don't know. So they needed to get a new showrunner to kind of like run the show and like finish. So like right now, I think it's at a halt. But like hopefully they finish out the rest of the first season. And then I'm hoping by end of 2020 is when Jupiter's Legacy will be done. And then they have a movie. They're doing Empress. So they had somebody working on the script. I haven't heard any casting news, so that means they're probably still like in pre-production. So hopefully early 2020 there'll be some casting done. And then mid to late 2020 is when they're going to start filming. And then so who knows? Late 2021, or not late, early 2021, we could see Empress. There's been talks of like Magic Order being turned into a TV show also.
Now, Randall, you've been placing your orders with Diamond. Have you seen the solicitations for a Christmas special event from Mark Millar?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, and they're not announcing what it is. It's going to be a secret. They're waiting for everyone to open up their boxes on the 18th, I believe it is. And we'll all be surprised to see the new book by Mark Millar. Yeah. Do you think it's going to be an older book, a return of a character, or something brand new?
Well, I mean, he says that he did say something like it's a return of somebody. or return of, you know, it has something to do with a previous series that he's worked on. Frank Riley's doing one of the covers. So if I had to guess, it would have to be a Jupiter's Legacy. You know, that's my guess.
Right.
The only other thing I can think of that he's trying to work on and do would be Kick-Ass. You know, something you know related to Kick-Ass. What was the other thing I'm thinking? Maybe Huck.
Maybe. I would. Huck's one of my favorites of his. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
Just in the way that Tim said Christmas, it made me think of Chosen. Didn't he do Chosen?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh yeah.
You know, because they're turning that into a TV show as well, I think. So, yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry, American Jesus.
Yeah,
American Jesus is the one they're turning into a TV show. So it could be American Jesus. That's Christmas. Like I didn't think about that, you know, because you know Jesus' birthday is Christmas, right? So like you know that would be interesting if it's American Jesus for surprise.
Air Spider 23. He's also curious to see what that new book is going to be. This could have a little heat on it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I ordered easily like 5 copies for myself.
It says Most Wanted Millar property. Now, are we just going back to Most Wanted?
Right. Or just
wanted. Or just wanted. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is, like, if you've paid attention to how Mark Millar has been writing comics lately, he hasn't been doing anything intense. You know, Wanted was intense, Nemesis was intense, Kick-Ass,
or anticipated.
Yeah. And so, like, I think he's going the route of PG-13, PG material. So that's why you've seen stories like Huck. You've seen stories like what are the recent ones he's done, like Space Bandits. He did the
well, it wasn't what was it? Sharky the Bounty Hunter wasn't PG.
Oh no, it wasn't?
No.
It seemed like or not PG, but definitely PG-13. Like I don't think it was that intense.
Right.
Was it some called like Chrononauts or something he did?
Huh?
Yeah. Chrononauts wasn't PG.
I didn't read it.
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah, it was PG-13. You know, like I'm make it simpler. A lot of the stuff he hasn't been writing hasn't been rated R. Let's make that easier, okay? I don't think Chrononauts is rated R. I don't think Sharky is even rated R. I think a lot of that stuff's all like PG-13. I mean, yeah, PG is like you know, like kiddie stuff now. You know, I mean, look at you know, technically, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom is PG, but we all know that that was the movie. Well, we don't all know that, but I assume that many of us know that.
Beloved, verbatim.
Created and gave birth to the PG-13 rating.
So what would be Mark Millar's most beloved? Looked at the solicitation. Yeah.
That's
definitely not Chosen.
That's subjective. His most beloved book. There's a lot of books that people love. If you're going to go most beloved, you have to go with what was the most popular. You know, and so Kick-Ass was like really popular.
Oh, did any of his properties go direct to a different media before it became a comic book?
No, I don't think so.
What do you mean? Like it was like a movie?
A movie, yeah. A movie?
No, everything he's been made, it's been made as a comic book first and then turned into a movie.
Right. Okay.
Well, this isn't Miller World, but there's also Red Sun that's coming out direct.
Yeah. I mean, what's sad is like he really hasn't said much about that. He's happy that it's being made, but like he hasn't said much. Usually, like when DC like make these films, they interview people that worked on the book from DC. You know, so hopefully Dave Johnson gets an interview about Red Sun, like like those behind the scenes documentaries or. Like the videos about like the making of and the origin of the character or the origin of the comic being adapted. I'm so excited for Superman Red Sun. Like I have those issues when they first came out. Probably one of the last of the Elseworlds stories that they did.
Not surprised you're a
DC
Superman
was
fan, so you should have it.
Huh?
I said, not surprised you're a Superman fan. You should have that. And you should have an X-Men number
Well, I
one.
got really lucky. I didn't know about the book. And one of the guys I wasn't even working at a comic book shop at this time. I was just a customer.
Right.
And I remember walking in there, and the guy knew I was a big Superman fan. And he's like, "Hey, man, just to let you know, man, this is going to be a good book. You should really check this out." So I was like, "Okay, cool. I'll check it out." You know, and he was dead on. But this was before I even knew who Mark Millar was. You know, like I didn't realize how popular Mark Millar was until maybe when Civil War came out. You know, or no, probably around Ultimate X-Men. Somewhere after that, you know, like the Ultimates. I think that's what it was. Like the Ultimates came out. I used to ask some of the customers when I worked at the shop. I used to ask them, "Hey, any of the Mark Millar like comic book stories that you've read, were there any of them like ones that you didn't like?"
Oh, he wrote Vampirella too. Mark Millar wrote Vampirella too, like a volume of Vampirella too.
Oh, dude, there's a lot of older stuff that he wrote that I didn't know. Like I didn't know he wrote Swamp Thing.
Yeah,
I didn't care for Swamp Thing.
No. Yeah, I mean, his early stuff is definitely a lot more different. Like his writing really didn't shift and change until I want to say when he worked with Vertigo, and he did with Frank Quietly. He did the Authority. However, he also that should be credited to Grant Morrison helping him out.
Hey, I think he did Swamp Thing with Grant Morrison. It was like both of them worked together.
There was one story arc that Morrison and Millar did, and then the following story arcs it was just Millar. Because I didn't see Morrison's name on the books when I was picking up the books. Because I was going through all the comics, and I was like, at one point I was like holding 20 comic books in my hand, and they were all Millar, and I was like, holy crap! I didn't know he wrote this many Swamp Thing books. And then the first stack, like the first few of them, it was Morrison and Millar, and then after that it was just Millar. So I was just like, I couldn't buy all of them. So I think I ended up only buying like 10 copies. And but I made a mental note, like I need to go back and like find the rest of those issues. Like I want to go like digging all through all the DC copies, like all the DC books that he wrote, because he's written some Flash issues. Obviously, Superman Adventure,
Morrison,
the animated series adaptation.
Yep, and he wrote Vampirella, and then and Morrison wrote Vampirella too. So both of them wrote some Vampirella. So that's pretty funny.
So did anybody read Kill Whitey Donovan this weekend?
No. I didn't pick it up.
I know you didn't. And I told you to pick it up. I said, you need to pick this book up.
Yeah, I know.
So put your Comic Tom thing away.
I didn't even, I stopped collecting like that anyways. I collect whatever I want. Whatever I know.
Like. I know.
Instead of listening to everybody, you know what I mean? Like you told me, nice to collect what you like, and you won't be, you know.
How do you know you don't like it if you don't pick it up and read it?
I know.
It got solicited, and the property is already like blowing up all over the place. So the issues are already skyrocketing. With Randall's always ordering books for me, and I always have this very peculiar pull list from Randall's order. And I would have to say, like maybe 8 times out of 10, I'm pretty solid on my picks.
Well, I mean, what's great is, and I'm starting to notice a trend, right? The trend is the minute that the book comes out, it's hot. Several months later, half of them kind of dwindle down. They're like no longer hot. So like, was it that King Arthur from Boom Comics?
Once in the Future.
Yeah. Like when that first issue came out, it was like, oh.
Yep.
And then me and my buddy Marco, we were talking about it. He looked it up, and he's like, "Yeah, the price has gone down on those." So, I mean, it's a speculation market. Like like it's great to get if you're going to try to hurry up and sell it right away.
Nope. Well,
if you don't sell it right away, it's not really an investment. Like hopefully you just like the story. I picked it up. I like the art.
I like the art and the story. So
yeah.
Once the Future was good. So
Dan Moore kills it on the art. I think he's a great artist. I've been following him ever since he was working on Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Right?
In here.
let me tell you, I haven't bought Vampirella books until Jeff and I started hanging out. I gave up Vampirella back when Harris had the property. And since Jeff's been hanging out, he's been slowly getting me into Vampirella again. And now I'm picking up Lucio Perillo covers. And damn you, Jeff.
You know what I would really like, and I think it would really would boost Vampirella's popularity. I could kind of see like it'd be cool if like Netflix got the rights and they did an anime, like an anime series of Vampirella.
That'd be cool.
Because there's certain properties that if you with animation, like look at Castlevania, you know, like Castlevania the anime, like they're not long seasons, it's few episodes, but like people who are into animation and they're into the genre, the characters, they've had nothing but great things to say about it. And like you have guys like Warren Ellis that worked on that cartoon series, you know, so like I would love to see like them do something like that with Vampirella.
See,
Perry
bought his books this week by flipping the Whitey Donovan. Yeah. See, Perry's got it up there, man. He's sharp.
Yeah.
Didn't they make a straight to DVD Lady Death movie once?
Yeah. There was, animated one. It was okay. It wasn't bad. The animation was a little touch and go, but you can tell where they were putting a lot of attention to detail in some parts and just rushing through others just so they can meet probably some deadline. But the story was, it was okay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't thrilling, but it wasn't bad. It's kind of like that Faust movie that came out. I don't know if you ever saw that Faust movie that they did on the Tim Vigil property, Faust. Man, that was a fucked up film, but it was crazy. Anything that has, what's his name? The guy from Reanimator. I forget his name. Jeffrey.
I don't know.
What's his name? He's from Reanimator. He was from Star Trek. Jeffrey Combs. Anything that has Jeffrey Combs in it, it is fantastic.
Yeah.
That man is a great character actor. And let me tell you, if you ever get a chance to watch Faust, it is fucked up.
You got any Faust comics too?
Yeah, I've got the whole first Damned series. I was big in the indies when indies weren't big.
Yeah, first print.
Yeah, first print. Sure.
I don't. Next week you should dig them out. I know one person that would like to see them.
Right on.
What was it? Robert, the comic book G Spot. My other.
Yeah.
The other one. He's really into it.
Ask him if he's ever seen the film.
He's seen it. He's seen it.
Oh yeah.
He's looking for first editions of the.
They're hard to get, and because they had black covers on the back, man, it's hard to grab them without fingerprints on the back covers.
Well, yeah, but don't forget there was nudity and everything else in that book too.
Yeah.
Now, was that a live action movie or an animated?
Yeah, it was live action.
Live action.
Complete live action. His suit looked very much like Spawn's suit back in the day because it came out a few years after Spawn. Jeffrey Combs played a demon. He didn't play the lead character. The titular character was played by I don't know his name. He's a character actor, but he was really over the top and huge. I mean, he was chewing scenery left and right. And then the female characters were very sexy, sultry, a lot of nudity, and just some weird stuff where like this one woman melts into her body and she's like this big pile of boobs.
I remember watching it when I was 13, man. I wasn't even supposed to be watching it, and I was watching.
Yeah, the violence is over the top. We're talking heads are falling, arms are falling, people are being decapitated and gutted, and it's just so much fun. It's definitely one of those films you watch with a group of people, especially comic book guys.
Yeah,
I have to hunt for it.
Yeah, hunt for it. It's still out there.
It was on Amazon, but it was on Amazon Prime if you had Amazon. But now, it was they cut it, so so you have to buy it for like $2-3 to watch it.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
It's amazing how many little low budget comic book properties are out there. Like Gen 13 had a movie, Savage Dragon.
Yeah.
Like So I'll find them sometimes, and I'll be like, I forgot this even existed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I remember all of the straight to TV films like Generation X that came out.
Yeah.
Actually, wasn't that funny. Or was it Mutant X?
Yeah, Mutant X.
That came after.
90, yeah, the 90.
That came after.
Like, I know
Generation X was a 2-hour movie event.
Yeah.
You know, like Nick Fury. Didn't have much to do with the comic. It didn't have like Havoc or anything in it.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. It did have some of the comic. It did have like I want to say Jubilee was in it.
The Generation movie.
Yeah. I feel like the girl who runs my LCS was hitting on me by picking out the Vengeance of MP3 cover A for me. Oh, nice.
Vengeance of it. Which one? Oh, that's the Perillo A. Yeah, that's the Perillo cover.
Oh yeah. Well, all those covers are hot.
I don't too. Like when I'm at a strip club and I'm giving the girl money, hitting on me. You know, like, oh, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I can't take credit for that joke. That joke was from what's his name? Can't think of his name. Funny guy. He does like the Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonations and.
I met somebody yesterday from Austria, from where Arnold's from. Yesterday on one of my live streams.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and he's I always forget. His something vigilante. I can't remember the other one. It's another V word. B word.
Yeah.
It's something vigilante. But dude, he loves Conan stuff, Vampy stuff, Jim Valiant stuff. Like, but I know he has a hard time probably getting some of the older stuff.
Oh yeah.
There, since he's in Germany, since he's from Austria.
Francisco. That's the name of the comedian.
Who is it?
Pablo Francisco.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, like, dude, I've been meeting a lot of new people, like all from all different states, different countries too, man, just by doing this. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, man.
No, you're
it's the Ben Oliver cover. That's what it was.
After we've been doing the StreamYard, like it's popped up on my Facebook feed.
Yeah.
And there's an actual StreamYard Facebook group that I joined. And and so like when you go to their website, they do like a breakdown explaining what it is and what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's got me going. It's got me thinking. Like I know we're doing this, but like now I kind of want to start doing my own stuff, own videos.
That's the whole thing.
Oh, you say Varangian? Was that his name?
Yeah. That's what it is.
There you go. Yeah, Air Spider. Thank you, Air Spider 23. That Ben Oliver cover. Yeah, those close-ups of Vampy, those Ben Oliver covers. Those have been hot too. There's a Red Sonja Vampy cover that's going to be a split faced. That's going to have Red Sonja on one side and Vampirella on the other by Ben Oliver. I suggest you all pick that one up. That one looks really hot.
You already know it.
Is it that split cover that you're talking about? Are we going to get like different like boob ratio sagging?
It's too much of a close up. We don't even get cleavage in it. I don't think.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds disappointing.
But I've been liking the Ben Oliver stuff though. It's been like really nice. Like
it's nice and clean.
Yeah, but two comparisons. There's two differences. You know what I mean? There's Oliver's cover and then there's the Perillo stuff. Perillo stuff's higher quality, or they're both high quality. But I'm just saying, his is like more hands on. I think Oliver's is more computer.
Here's like a random thought. Like these artists, right? They're amazing. They do phenomenal work, right? Do you think that the people that are like big fans of their art would go out of their way to buy like a puzzle? Can you imagine like a Perillo drawing, but it's in puzzle pieces and it's putting it together so you can have like the whole drawing? Do you think they would go out of the way to get something like that?
I mean, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what. When I met Josh Middleton, I started getting into his artwork when he was doing these covers for a run of New Mutants. He had like the first 6 issues, and then I was like, where did I see this style before? And then I remember, oh yeah, he used to work for what you call it, the cross-gen comic books. He did the first Mediterranean or Meridian? He did Meridian. He did the first 6 issues of Meridian So, man, I started going on the hunt for everything Josh Middleton. I even got Sky Between Branches, but it's a very hard to find one-shot issue that he did. And it was just a concept book, really. It wasn't even a full story. I really wanted to see more from that one, but I love Josh's work. That's the only reason why I picked up New York X or NYX or Nix or however you want to say it. Sure. Just by accident, because I knew it was Josh Middleton, and who knew that X-23 was going to make her first appearance in that book. Yeah, I love his work. I love his palette. His palette is beautiful. And I would buy a puzzle with some of his artwork on it. I get everything Josh puts out. Josh is probably in my top 5 all-time favorite cover artists. Him and like Arthur Adams. Yep.
I want to say Alex Ross is in my top 5.
Alex Ross, yep.
Jim Lee.
See, I'm not a big Jim Lee fan. I'm just not.
I like Jim Lee's covers. I like his art.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I mean,
see, that looks natural. That looks like a real model.
Yeah. I like the old may he rest in peace. The old Michael Turner stuff.
Oh yeah. I've been liking the Michael Turner stuff too. Ooh. So William got something to show. Looks like.
What do we got there? Well, that's a big piece. Nice.
Yeah.
That's a big poster.
Yeah.
Was that when CrossGen was doing their early promotions and they had those posters at their little tables at MegaCon when MegaCon was owned by Wizard?
I didn't buy that poster at MegaCon. I actually bought a CrossGen poster that was in a frame and lugged that sucker around for like over an hour. It was actually heavy. I'll go have that one too. Hold on.
Hey, Mark the Cutty Shark. Hello from Western Australia.
Hey, look, we got Australia watching us.
I loved CrossGen's stuff. I thought it was a very tight universe. I really miss them. The Alacy family was involved with that company. They were locals here in the Tampa Bay area or central Tampa area. And I love the idea of having a comic book publishing company here so close to home.
Oh, yeah.
And boy, did they bring a lot of talent. Rick Magyar, he's still around. Rick's still in the area. He was great on some of those books.
Early Jim Chung work, right?
Jim Chung work, yeah. God, he was fantastic on Scion. That's one of the titles that I collected all the way to the end.
I bought this at MegaCon, and it came in this frame, and I lugged this shit around for like over an hour.
That is gorgeous.
It started so heavy.
Yeah, man, that is fantastic. That is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a huge CrossGen fan, man. I hate that Marvel bought them and then really didn't do anything with them. They had a couple nothing to do with it.
You can say the same thing about Static Shock's company because DC bought them and didn't do nothing with the company.
Well, I mean, they did do Milestone. They did do some stuff with Milestone, and then I think the problem was that
they did some, and then
the sales dropped, and so they kept some of the characters around. But I mean, they've been wanting to bring them back. But the problem, though, is that there's been a lawsuit between I want to say Dwayne McDuffie's wife and everyone else that's been wanting to launch Milestone. And so until that lawsuit, which I heard rumors that the lawsuit they've kind of settled recently. So maybe hopefully next year or 2 years from now, we'll start to see like more of the Milestone characters kind of coming back and appearing. But I mean, the most popular character out of them all, of course, was Static.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially when Static had his own animated series, which I actually finally, when the DC Universe app launched, I had never watched Static. Like, I remember the show, but I had never watched any of it. And so I got to sit down and actually watch all of the episodes thanks to DC Universe.
Now, he was in another DC show, didn't he? Didn't they have a crossover?
Yeah. Well, they had characters from the Justice League appear on Static, and they also had Batman and Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond, yeah.
Superman actually appeared in Static as well. So, but that was like the later, I want to say like the last 2 seasons. It was like only 4 seasons. and which I think is nowadays typical. Like that's the most an animated series will get is 4 seasons, and then that's it. It's done. What's cool is I think the last couple seasons, one of the writers or showrunners was John Semper Jr. And he's actually most well known for running the 1994 Spider-Man animated series. So I have him as a friend on Facebook. He's super nice. He most recently was trying to launch sort of like a Rocketeer type animated series. He did like a Kickstarter and everything like that, but I don't think it did well enough. But he did mention like I think he's working as a writer or producer on like an animated series that's going to be appearing on Netflix. So like he's still working. He's still, I actually saw him at MegaCon one time. I saw him from a distance, and he was like walking around. I think I was working with CBCS, so I was like a witness, and so like I couldn't like tell the customer like, "Hey, I'll be right back." Like I couldn't do that. I really wanted to because I wanted to meet John, and but yeah, it was just one of those like I saw him. He loves going to conventions. He I think lives in LA, and so he usually attends like screenings and
Right.
like he meets. He's always showing pictures of him with other actors and other people, and like meeting with them and getting their autograph and just chatting with them. And but yeah, he loves this stuff. Like he also wrote some DC comics. He was writing the Cyborg comic book series.
Fifth member of the panel just walked on frame. Who is that? Who just walked on frame? Is there a cat?
Yeah,
Somebody got a cat?
William's cat.
Hey, before I go, I wanted to give a little shout out to a couple of people because we lost two important people today. And
I was about to say,
yeah, we lost Carol Spinney today.
Yeah.
Carol Spinney, I grew up watching him playing Big Bird on Sesame Street, and I had the pleasure of meeting him at SuperCon in Miami twice. Each time I went up and got an autograph because not only is he a beautiful man, but his wife was a beautiful lady, and they were just so incredibly polite and nice. And Carol jumped right into Oscar. He was sitting there. I'm sitting there having a conversation with Oscar the Grouch, and it was freaking giving me chills because I was a child growing up with this show, and I still watch it to this day, and I even watch the foreign versions too because they're just quite funny. They're very funny, and there's a lot of adult humor in Sesame Street if you really look for it.
Yes.
And then I just heard before I came onto this show, just between the car ride home and here, we lost Renee Auberjonois today as well. Odo from Deep Space Nine. And I just want to give a shout out to both their families, to the Spiny family and the Auberjonois family. Our condolences are with you. I love you guys. And rest in peace. Those guys were phenomenal entertainers.
And I was talking about that at work, and I was like, yeah, he was also in Benson. And everyone was like, what the heck is Benson?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what the heck is Benson? I loved Benson.
Yeah, I always remember him from was it Deep Space Nine?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I always remembered him. I think he was probably one of my favorite characters on that series.
If you watch The Little Mermaid, he was also the voice to the chef.
Oh, really?
Yes.
The chef always made me laugh. He was very brief, but it was funny.
Yeah. He used to get tickled when people would bring him something from The Little Mermaid because that's not a lot of people connect the two, but it's very funny. Yeah. So we lost two big greats today.
Yep.
And I just wanted to put that out there on the air that I will be missing both of them because I've had the opportunity to meet both of them several times.
Yep.
Yeah.
And especially Carol because I'm a costume character. I'm a mascot. People don't know this, but I was Raymond from the Devil Rays for several years. I was Max the Bat for the Tampa Bay Mutiny. I used to do a children's show called Banana Bread on PBS.
Did not know that.
Yeah, you can look up Shanna Banana on YouTube, and you can see some footage of me jumping around in a bear costume, Snickles the bear. So I totally get Carol's passion for being an entertainer and an educator, and I just want to tell him thank you. I want to tell his family thank you for everything he's done for me. So just want to put that out there. What's that?
I said you're a man of many talents.
Ah, thank you. Yeah, that's what I do.
I mean, and I said this in comments to other videos, but I love your when you go out and show off the cheap books that you find every Wednesday.
Oh, right on. Yeah, I got to get back and start doing more videos. I've got, like I said, I've got 2 gigs. I'm in the middle of a Christmas gig. I just booked my January gig. Oh, I'm gonna be starring. I'm actually the lead. Well, actually, there's 2 of us. It's a 2-person play. It's called Venus and Fur, and I'm playing Thomas. And it's going to be in Clearwater at a small theater called Theater 1. If you know where the Early Bird Dinner Theater is, it's literally right across the street. Come on down, see the show. You'll get to see your boy Tim get molested by Aphrodite herself. So it's a really good. It's a really good play. Oh, what's that?
When does that start?
End of January. I believe we're in rehearsals now. I think our opening night is the 23rd.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So wait. Yeah. So the play is about you getting molested by a hermaphrodite?
I play a director who's trying to cast I'm playing a director who's trying to cast a play.
Okay.
Based on Venus and Fur, which was written by what's his name? Sax Masoch. Ludwig von Sax Masoch. And if you ever heard of the word masochism, that's where the word masochism comes from. So it's a very feminist play. I don't want to put that word out there. It's not really feminist. It's really second. It's not political at all. But it shows that women and men, especially in theater and in the performing arts, there is a little bit of some bias and some just the way we treat women as being the delicate flower. Well, she teaches me a lesson that she's not so delicate, and you know what? My character enjoys a strong woman.
Death by snoo.
Yeah. So it's a very cool play. And there's only 2 of us on stage the whole time. It's about an hour and a half long, tops.
I swear, man, if I go to that play and all I see is you and the other person going like this.
Oh, yeah.
After 2 hours, you guys are just playing paper, rock, scissors. I'll be like so mad.
Nah.
You guys ready to call it, or what do you guys want to do? You guys ready to call it, or you guys want to still talk? Up to you guys.
Let's at least talk about Crisis real quick, and then we can wrap it up.
Yeah. Let's call it. Yeah.
If you've seen the Crisis episode tonight, you'll understand
why. I haven't. Blah, 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 blah.
Why I'm wearing the arrow hat.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I can mute him if you want.
I can tell you this. I saw the still of Brendan holding the other Superman by the throat, and that's got me going.
Yeah, that's not in this episode.
Yeah, well, still, I'm excited.
Hopefully that's going to be in tomorrow's episode. So the crossover is tonight, tomorrow, and I believe the following night. So it's 3 nights in a row, the first 3 episodes, and then the other 2 episodes will be in January. But the first episode, I've seen all of the crossovers, and so far, there's a lot of hype for this crossover. And after watching the first episode, because I feel like they crammed a lot, after watching the first episode, I wasn't like, oh, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen. It's like more like it's a solid start. A solid start. Right. My favorite thing about the episode were the cameos.
I haven't watched it yet, but I hear there are 6 cameos that they haven't even announced yet. Not tonight.
Cameo, but he's not a character. He's not a DC character. It's just an actor who makes a cameo. He had a couple lines. It was cool to see him because he's a fan.
Nice.
I keep it at that so that way I don't spoil it.
I can have a guess because I know a big fanboy directs some of these Arrowverse shows, and that's Kevin Smith. I know he's a fan. He directs.
Well, yeah, you know, the cool thing was Kevin Smith did the talk show after the episode.
Oh, cool.
So they did like a crisis aftermath show. So you see him. I made sure I recorded that, and I watched most of it before jumping on here. So I'm gonna go once we're done here, maybe later tonight after I'm done running my errand. I'll watch the rest of it. But yeah, he's basically just there. They're talking about like the spoilers, like, you know, oh my god, I can't believe that happened, you know, and like, you know, and like asking people like, what are your thoughts on that? Like Mark Guggenheim was on there, which is great. I love that Mark Guggenheim is one of the showrunners for the CW shows, because he also has written some DC comics, and I like his writing. Like a lot of his comic book writing is very solid. I kind of wish maybe if he had teamed up with better artists, like the stories would probably come out more fun or more, you know. But I like Mark Guggenheim. He even wrote some Marvel comics. I know he was like writing one of the X-Men books, and he was doing this while still working on the CW shows. You know, so like that goes to show you that, you know, it goes to show you that, you know, in the industry, it isn't like a civil war. It isn't like, oh, I'm DC, I can only work with DC. I'm Marvel, I can only work with Marvel. You have guys that, you know, here you have a guy who works on the CW DC TV shows who is actually writing some Marvel comics, you know? So it just goes to show you that, you know, it's like they have love for both sides, for both companies. Sure. And it's just about like, you know, getting to work on, you know, tell stories, and it's about characters that they love. And so it's cool to see that. And not many people know this, but like Guggenheim also worked very closely with, why am I forgetting his name? Greg Berlanti. Mark Guggenheim and Greg Berlanti worked on the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern film. And so all these people who bashed the Green Lantern film, it wasn't their fault. It was the studio executives at Warner Brothers. Rumor was they went with like the cheapest script, because they had like 4 or 5 different versions of the Green Lantern script, and Warner Brothers went with the worst one. There was one script I heard that Alan Scott was in the movie, and he was narrating the movie, and on top of that, revealing that he worked for Checkmate. And so like Checkmate was supposed to be like Green Lantern initially was supposed to be the beginning of the DC cinematic universe, but because it bombed, that's when it shifted to Zack Snyder and him doing Man of Steel, and then making Man of Steel kind of like the beginning of the cinematic universe. But it should have started with Green Lantern, but Warner Brothers screwed up, you know. But the good thing about them screwing up was that Greg Berlanti and Mark Guggenheim ended up doing Arrow. And then after them doing Arrow, they went from Arrow to the spinoff with Flash. They actually also wrote a script for a Flash movie. And from the rumors that I heard, the whole first season of Flash was loosely based off of their script for the Flash movie. So all they did was they took their Flash script and they added to it and they expanded it and they turned it into the first season of the Flash. So the Greg Berlanti right now is king of like television. Like Tim, you probably remember Donald Belisario?
Oh God, yes.
Yes, this
Belisario
guy.
Productions. The guy was everywhere.
Yeah, Quantum Leap, Magnum PI, every like 80s popular show that you could think of. This guy was attached to it as a producer.
Yep.
That's what I think Greg Berlanti is. He is the Donald Belisario of our generation this time, because the man, his name is attached to all kinds of TV shows. God, his name is attached to like, I don't know, 7 or 8 TV shows that are currently on air right now. He's attached to the Green Lantern show for HBO Max. His name, I think, is attached to Titans, which is on DC Universe. All the CW DC TV shows his name is attached to. He had a show on NBC that his name is attached to, the Blind Spot or whatever. So, I mean, this guy is just killing it. So the sad thing is you had these guys who worked on the Green Lantern movie, which, if not for the failure of the Green Lantern movie, I don't think we'd have the CW television series. Therefore, we wouldn't even have Crisis on right now, you know? So it's funny how things work out. But yeah,
I'm still waiting for them to bring that Quantum Leap, man. I love that show.
There you go. We just need to convince Greg Berlanti to get his name attached to Quantum Leap reboot, and it'll happen.
Let me tell you, I admired Scott Bakula so much to become an actor in a series that you get to play other characters every single episode. He didn't have to stick with just being himself. Yeah. He had to figure out being himself in these other characters, and what a stretch for Scott Bakula, and it really showed his range. Yeah. Scott Bakula was phenomenal in Quantum Leap. Absolutely phenomenal.
Absolutely. I think what it is, too, is like, for some actors, it's probably a dream role, and then for other actors, it's probably a nightmare of a role because of all the work you have to do.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, but yeah, it's just one of those, like, that's his best work. That's his best work is Quantum Leap. Great theme song, great storytelling. I mean, I heard the finale and the ending and the way they ended it. People weren't too thrilled about it.
Oh, God.
But for the most part, like, it's such a great run. Such a great run. Like, I remember growing up watching that. And I just love the theme song. Like, I have like one of those, like, TV soundtracks that has like the theme songs to a lot of TV shows.
Oh yeah.
And so I occasionally, every now and then, I'll be putting on the theme of Quantum Leap when I'm driving around. Just
and the chemistry between him and a ghost. I can't think of his name, but the hologram dude.
Yeah.
Dean Stockwell.
Yeah, Dean Stockwell. He was pretty awesome too. I love him.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
I always looked at him as that character.
He played Al.
Al, yeah. I always remember him as Al. So when I saw him on Battlestar Galactica, I was just like, it was tough. It was tough for me, like, to see him play like this, bad guy type character. I'm just like, no, not Al.
Oh, Dean goes way back. He started acting in the early '60s, late '50s.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Dean's done a lot of black and white television work. Did a lot of movies. I mean, he started with some of the big heavies.
Yeah.
So,
but out of everything he's done, though, I'm pretty sure Quantum Leap he'll be remembered for the most.
Yeah, I went to a convention to see him, and everybody was getting their Quantum Leap stuff signed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm sure Battlestar Galactica fans were getting stuff signed by him, too. But Quantum Leap, that's always going to be his, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
go watch Crisis.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that the second or third episode is really going to be really good. Like I'm waiting for Brandon Routh to appear as Kingdom Come Superman. That's what I'm waiting for.
And
that's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait.
I'm blanking on his name. The voice of Batman from animated series. Waiting for him.
Kevin.
Kevin Conroy. I believe Kevin Conroy will be in the next episode.
I'm excited for that one. I'm really excited for that.
I mean, you have so many like big diehard Batman animated series fans and Kevin Conroy fans that have waited to see him, as Batman, which I don't know if we'll actually see him as Batman. I think we're just going to see him as Bruce Wayne.
That's cool still, man.
Well, yeah, he has a body rig on that he couldn't even pull off Batman right now. He looks pretty beat up.
Right. Well, he's Kingdom Come Batman. So when you go back and you see Kingdom Come Batman, he gets suited up. The question is, will they suit him up?
Well, I'll tell you this. He's very tall. He's very skinny.
Yeah.
He's a very pleasant guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but his voice is dead on. I don't think every time I hear Batman, I expect Kevin's voice because he is just the Batman, in my opinion.
I say that Diedrich Bader's voice grows on me more and more.
No, I keep thinking Drew Carey. I can't get past it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, he's such an idiot. Diedrich is such he's a loose cannon goofball. I love him to death, but he was just like, okay, how are we doing things? I'm like, okay.
Did you ever watch the TV show Outsourced?
Oh, yes. God, yes. I loved Outsourced. It was hilarious.
Yeah, he was so funny. The main character asked Diedrich Bader's character to hang out with his girlfriend's mom. Like his girlfriend's mom is visiting. So he's like, just, show her around, like keep her occupied while I can spend time with her. And he's like, oh, yeah, no problem, So, and then, like, he ends up talking to him later. So, like, what did you guys end up doing? And he's like, oh, yeah, well, we went over here, we went over there, checked out some stuff. And then we went back to my place and we made love. And he's like, what? And he's like, oh, yeah, she's a stone cold fox, man, and she, the mom's character is Australian. So he's like, yeah, and he started using all these puns. And he was like, she hewed my jackman. And then he was like, she wrestled my crow, she didgeridoo my do, he just kept going and going and going,
I watched like the first episode of Outsourced on, I think it was NBC on their website. And then I found out it was a film first. Yeah. So then I went and I watched the film version, which was also amazing. Yeah. That was a appreciated show. Outsourced was fantastic.
I agree. I watched all the episodes of the sitcom. They had great characters. They had some great funny guys. The one guy who was sort of like the jerk boss, he was like the assistant manager.
Yes.
He's great. Like he just had your like mustache and just like very hardcore serious. He was the guy that you love to hate. Like you didn't like him, but he was funny. And
any show that can get away with calling a character man meat.
Yeah. And then what's great is the main character's name is Todd.
Right.
And there's one episode where Todd's like, you know what? I can't come into work today. So he asks the assistant, the guy who desperately wants to be the manager. Like he wants him out of the picture.
Right.
So he's like, hey, can you cover the office? Can you take care of the employee? And he's a very uptight guy, like very controlling. And so he was just like jumped at the opportunity. He's like, you want me to do what? Yes, I can. Oh, no problem. I'll take care of you take the day off. I'll be absolutely, and he's all calm. And as soon as he gets off the phone, he gets like really like loud. And somebody asks him a question and he's like, I am God now. And they gave him a weird look. And then he was like, oh, I'm sorry. I am Todd now. But he had like a God complex, so it slipped out. Like I'm God now, It's like
I like how you would be in the middle of a scene in the office, and just a cow would wander through the background.
Yeah,
because in India they let cows go wherever they want them because they're cherished. So it just used to catch me off guard. I'd be watching the TV. Oh look, there's a nice little intimate moment, cow.
Yeah. I mean, I think it really intrigued my interest in Indian culture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Like the way that they live and their outlook. And interesting enough, too, one of the characters that was in Outsourced, he ended up on, what was the Marvel show? There's Cage, Daredevil,
Iron Fist.
Iron Fist. He was an Iron Fist.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And it was so weird because I thought he was just pleasant and funny and Outsourced, and then the character that he played is the opposite. Very serious, very like intimidating. So to see him in Iron Fist, I was like, it's a guy from Outsourced.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, Crisis, I'm looking forward to it. I'm great. I'm behind on Titans. I got to catch up on Titans. Oh, real quick shout out to Harley Quinn animated series. Mm-hmm. Very funny. Very funny. First episode, like parts of it felt forced. And you're like, okay, let's see where the show goes. Let's see if it finds its groove. And man, Kite Man appears in the second episode, and that dude is hilarious. He is like totally hitting hard on Poison Ivy, and like he thinks he's the man, and she's just like, yeah, no, nobody thinks you're cool. He's that guy. He's that guy that's like, I'm cool, and everyone around him is like,
and now they released a little promo for Stargirl.
Oh yeah.
I saw that briefly too. Like that's supposed to be coming spring 2020. I'm looking forward to it. They have a really good cast of people. I mean, they didn't show any of that cast. Mm-hmm. But like, I think that show's going to surprise a lot of people because I think they're supposed to be introducing like the JSA characters. So some of the people that they have lined up playing some of the JSA characters, I'm like, sweet. Mm-hmm. I'm very much looking forward to the show.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, Stargirl. I love it. I love that DC Universe is still, putting out some great stuff, man. I'm looking forward to Titan season 3. I'm looking forward to Doom Patrol season 2. And then hopefully they're going to start, I really hope that they do more animation stuff. I really do. The Harley Quinn show, because there's a lot of F-bombs and there's a lot of cursing, it definitely feels like an Adult Swim type.
It's supposed to be for adults. It's not supposed to be for kids to watch it.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though like 80-90% of DC's animation is really geared towards kids.
Well, not this one.
Families, but Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
it's like I really hope that that show gets a lot of attention because the writing is really good. The writing,
a lot of good attention, not bad attention from parents.
Right. I just think like even the way they were doing Bane, like Bane was hilarious. They were like they were making fun of the whole Bane voice from Dark Knight Rises. Like you see him like eating cake and he's like, this cake is delicious. And then like him getting mad at the Joker because the Joker's like, what's that? I got chicken, but I don't like the taste of it. What do you have there? I have the beef. Go ahead and grab that. And he's like, oh, but I really wanted to eat the beef. So like the way they write the characters on there, like Scarecrow's appeared. The whole premise of the show is that Harley Quinn wants to be a legitimate villain, and she wants to make it on the Legion of Doom. So she's trying to get onto the Legion of Doom, and so of course the Joker's just like, no, babe, you're a sidekick. You're not cool like us. So there's the whole like them broken up and the rivalry between the two of them, and then there's the other villains that are kind of like, they were at the Penguin's nephew's bar mitzvah. That's where they were at. So it's a bar mitzvah for the Penguin's nephew. And and then like you got like Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn has her plant, the giant Venus flytrap plant.
Is it Tara Strong doing the voice for Harley?
No, it's the girl from Big Bang Theory.
Oh, okay.
Which is funny because the other girl from Big Bang Theory played Harley in the movie.
Yeah,
the other blonde. This is the blonde that was with the Roseanne character.
Yeah. I would say Haley Cuoco's Harley Quinn. I think it's going to grow on you. Her voice, because she knows that she has like there are certain actors they have like the distinct voices, and there are certain actors that they can disguise their voice, they can change their voice. But in this case, she knows like I'm not that type of actor. Like I'm not going to change my voice. I'm not going to be able to continually change my voice. But she will be able to like voice Harley in a way that it's like it's fun. That it's still Kaylee, but it's Kaylee's Harley.
Yeah.
So, but I enjoy it. I very much enjoy it.
It's so hard to get the voice of Tara Strong out of your head.
There's Tara Strong, who's fantastic. She's done like several different voices.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have your original Harley Quinn voice, which I can't remember the lady's name. She did the voice of Harley Quinn in the Batman animated series. I can't remember her name. But she's fantastic. Chaos and Comics, you're not renewing your DC Universe subscription. I understand.
There's way too many, man. I want to too, but there's way too many damn things to renew.
Oh yeah, I mean, you have to reach a point where you kind of have to just rotate. Like I don't have to worry about my Disney subscription because I paid in advance. So the next 3 years, I don't have to worry about Disney at all.
I subscribe to YouTube Red. I know that sounds silly. But what I like about YouTube Red is that you can pause your subscription.
Yeah.
You don't have to cancel it. You can just pause it. And they give you a selection of up to 6 months to pause your subscription. So you can pause it, wait for the new season to come out, reactivate it, watch the new season, pause it again.
Yeah.
I think all of these should have a pause button on them so you can jump back and forth without having to pay every month.
That would be smart.
Nice.
I got CBS All Access for free for the next month because they did some Black Friday deal. So once my free month is done, CBS All Access is done. I'm taking a break from Netflix. So Netflix, I'm back on Netflix in February for Lock and Key. Even though there's like several other shows that will be on that I really want to watch, like the new Henry Cavill show, The Witcher. I definitely will be watching that. I loved the first season of Danger Will Robinson. What's the name of that show?
Lost in Space.
Yeah. So like I love the first season. Second season will be coming out in December. So come February, I'm going to have at least several shows that I'm going to be binge watching and going through it real fast.
If you haven't seen it on Netflix, there's 2 shows that I suggest you try to watch. There's one that's called The Toys That Made Us, which is a phenomenal documentary on action figures. Yeah. And the second is The Shows That Made Us. It's going to be all on movies and movie properties. They've had one for Ghostbusters. It's just the same kind of structure, but it's really good. A lot of behind the scenes, a lot of information that you don't normally hear about, and it's just 2 really good shows on Netflix.
Yeah, I really got to watch those as well. Yeah,
I got to watch that the show one. I already watched the toy one.
Nice.
I mean, I know way too much about Hello Kitty. I really should know that much about Hello Kitty.
Okay, but, so I'll know to skip that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
Yeah,
it's really good. Well, I'm just hearing this.
If you're binging it, you won't skip it.
This is not a good week. I just heard that Maria Sirtis, who played Deanna Troi on The Next Generation, Michael Lamper, her husband, passed away. He was only 61 years old. Wow. Yeah. Crazy. That's 3. And then I believe, if I remember correctly, there was one of the showrunners. I want to say it was DC Fontana who passed away from Star Trek, the original showrunners for Star Trek, the original series.
She was a writer.
Yeah. So, gosh, Trek is not having a good month.
No.
Nope.
Well,
speaking of Trek, Card will be coming out in January.
Yeah. Have you since you got CBS All Access, have you watched Discovery?
I watched like a third of the pilot, and I like what I see. I know for a fact that the second season is way better than the first season. So it's just one of those, like, I'd like to binge watch it. But there's so much Star Trek I haven't seen that I need to binge watch. Like, I haven't seen all of Next Generation. I haven't seen all of Deep Space Nine. Even the original Trek series from the 60s. Like, I never watched. I've seen a few episodes. So like I want to get on a Star Trek kick. Hopefully, maybe next year when I have the time.
I wanted to love Discovery, but I just couldn't. It pissed me off too much.
Oh yeah. Did you get to the second season?
Huh?
Did you get to the second season?
Yeah, I saw the shorts and everything, the little one trips, and oh gosh, it was just so not Star Trek. It's all big explosions and it's Michael Bay Star Trek. There's no science. There's no exploration. There's no. I mean, if you like explosions, if you like the Transformers films, man, more power to you. To me, that's not Transformers. Transformers has always been more about the strife between the Autobots and the Decepticons, and then both of the Autobots and Decepticons trying to get along with the human race, trying to share a planet. It was more. I almost hate to say it, but it was a little political. The Transformers, the original cartoon, it was underlined, underlining tone, but and lots of CGI. If you're into all of that, Star Trek Discovery's probably right up your alley. There's just no science in it.
Yeah. Did you hear about the new? Did you hear about the new robots that they're going to introduce in Transformers?
No, I didn't.
The Muscicons.
The Multicons?
The Muscicons, like Elon Musk. The
Muscicons. Oh God, no, please.
I'm kidding. Because you know how they feel like the what do you call those cars? Electric cars? Or so it's like, like you have like, can you imagine like all the Autobots like transform, and then you have like the ones that are like, hold on, guys.
I'm shaking in my boots. I hope the Picard series is good. Jean-Luc Picard is one of my all-time favorite captains of the Enterprise. He was just I loved his calmness. He could be in complete, total disarray, and the ship could be upside down, and Jean-Luc Picard's just like, I've got this. This is okay. Everything's fine. Just pay attention, do your job, and we should get through this okay. I love that about Jean-Luc.
I always loved the movie in First Contact when he really got intense, and he's like, the line must be drawn here.
Oh yeah, that was a side of Picard you didn't see before, and that was something nice. A lot of people don't like Generations, you know, or what was it? Was it Generations?
Next Generation.
No, it was no. It was First Contact. It was First Contact.
No, people like this generation.
But you know, the storyline was a little convoluted and all that. But yeah, you're right. I mean, especially with Alfred Woodard. Alfred Woodard just goes straight down Picard's gullet and just says, "Come on, Picard, you know, you gotta just fuck this shit." No. Oh God, it brings chills on my butt. Yeah.
But I mean, also, I think part of the reason Picard loses his cool is because of that experience that he had with the Borg.
Being with Locutus, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I think he's got some
PTSD.
what's called the
post-traumatic.
Yeah, PTSD. He's got like PTSD with the Borg.
Yeah.
It was that generation's Wrath of Khan. You know, Wrath of Khan dealt with something that they already dealt with in the show, and they came back. So
yeah. Wrath of Khan. I mean, one of my favorite parts about Wrath of Khan is, you know, Kirk. You know, like he's got all these plans going on, and then when what's her name, when she figures out what he's doing, she's like, "You lied," and he just like looks at her and he like grabs the apple. He's biting into the apple, and he's like, "I told you, I don't like to lose." You know, like I'm just like, that's what I want to be. I want to be like Kirk. I want to be like setting things up to where I win, and I'm just calmly like standing there with the apple, and I'm like, I don't like to lose.
You know that's an actor's trope, right? That whenever you see an actor in any film, television show, if you see them eating an apple, that's them being cocky.
Oh, okay.
That's everybody who eats an apple is a cocky son of a bitch.
Yeah.
In any film, movie, anything, it's the apple. It's just like everybody falls back to the apple. I can't tell you how many times you've seen a cocky scene of a cocky actor, and he's sitting there and he's chawing on an apple.
Yeah.
All I know
is if I'm in a movie, I'll be eating applesauce.
There you go.
I'll just sit there with like a little bowl, and I'll be like,
that's because your big boy teeth haven't grown in yet, Randall.
Yeah. You see like applesauce getting caught in the goatee, dripping.
That Wrath of Khan was one of the first movies I seen in a drive-in when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And the only thing I remember from that night was the ear.
Everybody remembers the ear bug.
Yes, that freaked me out. I just was like, I'm not watching this movie from there on in.
Oh yeah. Just that scene where they put it in the suit and they close the helmet, and you just see it crawling up, and they're like, ah!
Yes.
Yeah, I was like,
Walter Koenig, he has the earwig in his ear.
Yeah.
Walter's a funny guy.
One of my first movie experiences, that and E.T.
Yeah. Did you guys see that commercial that reunites the E.T. with?
Yeah.
Man, that got me. I'm sitting there watching and I'm going, oh my God, I'm getting chills on the back of my neck.
The only actor in that commercial that didn't phone it in was Thomas Elliott.
Yeah, Thomas was freaking amazing.
Yeah. Is it Thomas Elliott?
They looked like little counterparts.
Yeah. Yeah. It totally got me. I was like, oh, damn it, it's a freaking commercial.
I know. But you see, that goes to show you, like, I mean, look, if Thomas had phoned it in, we would have been like, this is kind of lame.
Yeah.
But because he did so good, like when you see the emotions in his face.
Yeah, he sold it. He sold it.
Like,
he had me.
Family, you know, like, you came back, you know, and like, you know, it's just like I hope he just gets more acting work just from that commercial alone.
Right? He deserves it. He deserves it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring back Quantum Leap and E.T.
Yeah. No reason why they couldn't. There's no reason why they couldn't.
how about like fuse Quantum Leap and E.T. So like, you have like Sam like basically leaping into bodies of aliens and like having to like, learn their culture and be like, huh?
That would actually be cool.
Have Elliot be in one of the Star Wars movies since E.T.'s part of Star Wars.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have him frozen in carbonite. He could show up in the Mandalorian.
There you go. That could be the next acting gig.
Or just end up being one of the Mandalorians.
Discovery
Bay. Discovery Bay.
Hey, JB.
He's the guy that got me some of my earlier exposure. Thank you, Discovery Bay. I greatly appreciate everything you've done for me and my channel.
Anything William want to talk about? Anything you want to talk about, William?
Like I said, I just came from work and straight to the show, so
yeah,
I'm gonna go watch the show and eat some dinner.
All
right.
You guys should plug your channels.
Yeah.
I don't have one.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
I mean, your show should, William, if you do a show, it should be just all about dollar comics.
I brought up Saga, so
yeah.
Nice.
Did you buy that for $1?
I bought a cover price when it first came out.
Nice.
Happy
Damn it.
Yeah, I actually sold mine at the beginning of this year. I was very saddened. I needed a little bit of quick money so I can make a trip to Georgia, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna sell my Saga. I only had the first issue. Put it on eBay at midnight. It was like 12:01 midnight, figuring it would sell by morning.
Yeah.
8 minutes. In 8 minutes, somebody did the buy it now at $125, and it was gone.
Nice.
Wow, nice.
One of my fastest sales on eBay. I was like, wow, that was amazing. It was never.
Yeah.
It went straight from the shelf into one of those. What do they call Ultra Pro frames?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So it was like it was pristine. It was beautiful. But that was back when I think it was going for like maybe 200, 225. Now it goes for a 9.8 probably goes for over $1,000 almost, or at least close to it.
Yeah, 9 something, like 9.
It's not 9.8, but it's not a bad copy.
Yeah, still.
I would grab it anyway.
Cool.
Yeah, it's not going nowhere. So
I hated the cliffhanger that they left us on the last issue. So waiting for the return of the series.
My sister still hasn't read it yet. My sister still haven't got up to that volume yet. I haven't let her go.
Yeah.
Yet.
Oh, no spoilers. No spoilers.
I was small spoiler, but I was still hoping they would bring the babysitter back.
Oh yeah.
I miss that character.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, I hate to bounce here, but I gotta get going.
Yeah, I always got about to bounce anyway. We were about to bounce anyway, so
yeah.
Got anything to plug, Randall?
Nothing much. Nothing going on here. Same old. Stay tuned. I'm happy to keep doing more of these episodes. I love talking to you guys. It's always fun. I know the last couple weeks I wasn't able to like really appear much because what was it? Last Sunday I had to drive out to Orlando to meet one of my customers. I said
you could have stopped somewhere and just did
it. No. I prefer doing it right here in the room. I got my webcam. I got all that stuff, so I didn't want to risk my phone dying on me because I rely on that for my GPS and stuff like that.
Right. I got you.
Yeah. But just stay tuned. But I'm going to keep working on stuff, and then you really got me inspired with StreamYard. I'm hoping to do my own show as well. That's my goal. My goal is to get my show going and to get some more subscribers than Tim. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm struggling for subscribers. I really am. I've been doing it for longer than all of you guys, and I'm still at the bottom of the totem pole.
Tim, I think the secret is if you want to get more subscribers, you got a ton of comic books in your collection, man. Start doing some giveaways.
Yeah,
not even giveaways. Not even giveaways. Just put yourself out there more, Tim. You need a
Of course, yeah. I'll go ahead and I'll pin that in between job number 3 and 4.
Yeah.
It's all about time.
Yeah.
You know, time is just hard.
Yeah, I'm trying to expose you to the community more since I'm with the community now. So I'm trying to expose you guys more to it. You know what I mean?
Well, the funny thing is I have a lot of actor and a lot of performer friends, and not a single one probably follow me on my YouTube page because we're very competitive, and we're all it's just a competitive, business, and everybody's always. Yeah. There's a few that really like me, and then there's a few that just I hate that guy.
All right, guys. I'll see you later.
Peace out, Randall.
You got anything to plug?
Actually, tomorrow I will be in the Clearwater area, so I am probably going to stop by a couple of my old Clearwater haunts and probably entertain William with a new Hauling Booty episode. Take 20 solid dollars and see what I can find in the dollar bins in Clearwater and St. Petersburg area. So that's probably what I'm going to do tomorrow after rehearsrsals.
Yeah, I want to make it to
more books. Thanks, Discovery Bay Comics. I can show you many books. Mm-hmm. Many.
I haven't been to Wilson's for a while, if you ever go there.
Yeah, I used to go to Wilson's all the time, but then they moved. And ever since they moved, I've only been there once. Their comic book collection has shrunk. So they used to have a lot of those nice dollar bins back there. Damn, I got a full run of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The City of War back there one time for $1 a pop. And boy, that was a nice little treasure. And that's the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle run. God, I used to get all kinds of nice books back there because nobody knew about Wilson's. It was a little secret, little corner. And I used to pack books when I used to work for Diamond. I used to pack books for Wilson's Comics. So I've been going there since 89, 90. Yeah.
Last time I was there, about 6 months ago, I got the first Birds of Prey one shot.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good pull. And you got it for $1, right?
Yeah.
God, they always get some great books for $1. It's a great little store. Great little store. Even if you're just bagging and boarding, if you're live, the comic community will come. Discovery Bay Comics, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that little help, that little boost. Like I said, I just got to get more live streams going. I want to up my my tech. I'm working on getting a new camera and a new microphone.
Like I can always if you want to bag and board and just show off your books, I can always live stream with you and bag and board at the same time, and we can both give off books. Whatever helps. Whatever's gonna help you out, man. That's the main thing. You started me on this thing, so I want to boost you more than anything.
It's kind of unfair because people like Perry and Discovery Bay, they don't work at comic shops.
Right.
I work at a comic shop. I work at 2 comic book shops. So I get the stuff that most people don't get from comic shops. Plus, the way I earn my money, it allows me to get some very large amounts of comics. Like most people, my pull is probably $150 to $180 a week.
Yeah.
So, but because of working at a comic book store and getting a great discount, and also by getting hours, it helps me pay for my comics. So it's a nice little deal that I got going on. So, I don't want to come across as I'm bragging because I'm getting everything, really.
Well, you're just an entertainer with your videos. Like I watch your weekly, the new comic book day videos.
Oh, right on. Thanks, William.
You completely just put yourself out there and just try to entertain as you're just showing the new books.
I tried to do that with the LCW ones, but it doesn't work out the way I want it sometimes.
Yeah. I try to marry my 2 loves, my love for performing and my love for comics. And I've been collecting comics since, 1976, 77. My first big comic book that I was following on a weekly basis was the original Star Wars run from Marvel. So, I mean, my comic book collecting goes back a long time, as you can see in this jam-packed room that I have very little space to move in. So
yeah, I actually I've worked with a couple actors that does little plays. I a good friend of mine's sister is who they named the Heather from.
Oh, wow.
I don't know
Okay.
if you've ever heard of the Heather.
Yeah.
She
the
passed.
Heather,
I'm good friends with her sister.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Yeah, that's very. It's a very small community. When I go to auditions, I see people that I've been in other shows with. I see people. I was like, oh shit, it's him. Oh my god, it's her. Oh, there's my main competition. We know each other. It's just a very small community. And from here to Orlando, and from here to like Gainesville, and here to like down as far south as Fort Myers. That's my little play area, and I try not to go on the other side of Orlando. I let those people work the other side of Orlando, and we're all very territorial, and we just try to do the type of work that we all love, and try to get paid for it. I'm done with community theater. I don't want to do that anymore. Yeah, look at that, bam.
Yeah, one of my guys, I work at Olive Garden, and another guy that works with me, Mark Dunham, he works in a theater around here in Port Richey. He's one of the people. So yeah, I just can't find these people.
Yeah, it's a small world. It is a very small world, and I'll be talking like I'm talking to you. I bet you you and I know some of the same people if we were to start digging into our who we know lists. And I'll bet you, I guarantee you, we'll find somebody. We're like, oh my god, we know that same guy. It's just a small community. Even the comic book community.
Is from Olive Garden, so it's. I want to see more plays. I've seen Wicked 3 times. I've seen a play called Motherhood, the musical.
Yeah.
What Brent was expecting. I've seen Lion King.
I do very few musicals. The last musical I was in was Damn Yankees. I am looking possibly forward to playing Willy Wonka. I would love to do Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. That would be one that I would love to do. And I've always wanted to play the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz. It's just such a hell of a play to put on, and not many people do it because it's a big challenge.
Version of Charlie.
Yeah, it'd be definitely over the top and crazy. I've got to get these kids back to bed. Catch everyone tomorrow. Thank you very much, Discovery Bay Comics.
Yeah, but he's watching the kids.
Yeah. Yep. I'm at 8% battery. If I lose you guys, I apologize. William, very nice talking to you, good sir. Jeff Comic 813. I will see you on Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll see you on Tuesday. We're signing out now.
Right on. Peace out, guys. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, just give me one